Hi, and welcome to Spiritual Alchemy Energy, the podcast with Julie. Tonight, I'm going to be talking about Master in the Making, doing some readings. I don't know if anybody wants to learn anything, but hanging out and throwing stuff out there. So, I kind of wanted to talk about Master in the Making. I don't know, something was calling to me to talk about my book. And I wrote this in early 2018, and as I'm working on the theory of eight, a lot of the themes from this book, which is nonfiction, totally about true story about me, I had to change some names, locations. Outside of that, it's all true. It's about my entering into my spiritual path with the woo-woo and being very skeptical. But in the process, there's a lot of different themes that go on. Having to remember trauma, piecing that together and healing that. What else? Heartache, loss, death. Let's see. Things that I thought I was going to talk about, I'm not going to talk about. Hi, Nicola. How are you tonight? And a lot of things seem to have gotten channeled in this book when I wrote it, and I didn't even realize it until later. And there was one thing that happened while I was finishing the book, and I had Spirit come and talk to me, and was telling me, pushing me, you need to investigate this. You need to research this. Which coincidentally, everything I've done for the theory of eight, I've had to do a lot of research for. So it was just the beginning of that. But Spirit's like, you need to investigate these people. So I ended up doing that, and they're like, no, you need to go further. No, you need to go further. You need to go further. So I made all these connections that this was a corporation and there was all these businesses underneath this. Well, in going further with that and doing research online, I found out that I made an assumption, they're a cult. Found an article in Rolling Stone magazine. These people are getting sued or had been sued multiple times. It was a spiritual guru leader. So be careful out there. So that has kind of like crept, not that particular, but a similar situation. I'll do a reading. That situation of a cult being involved in my book has really come forward into this next book. So it was really interesting. I didn't want to put that in the book when I was writing it, finishing it up. I'm like, okay, you're telling me. So I listened to Spirit. But I really wrote this book for the non-believer, the person on the fence that, they're curious. I mean, I wrote about my experiences. I'm encouraging people to explore using different modalities. That's why I do this podcast. I have different people on here, telling you what they do. You might connect with them and you might not connect with me, or vice versa. So that's why I do what I do. I mean, everything I do is this anymore. There was something I wanted to share. So part of this is coming into alignment with your own divinity, your own magic, your own abilities, your spiritual gifts, because everybody on this earth has the ability to do that. Um, so anyways, okay, Nicola, what type of reading would you like? Would you like cards? Would you like mediumship, Akashic records? What kind of questions do you have? I think people are pretty much in the cards. For some reason, I'm thinking these. I think I'm going to start teaching about energy online. I know I am. It's just a matter of when I do that. Um, mediumship. Okay. Is she a blonde lady? Wore her hair kind of up? I'm seeing brown eyes. Hi, Candace. Hi, Amy. Nicola, I'm picking up a woman with blonde hair. Um, why would you like her to know? I'm picking up Nicola. She had dark hair. Did she dye it? Or is it gray? I'm kind of picking up this. I don't know what this. I'm getting like a child in the womb with an umbilical cord to her. So, um, so this is what I'm picking up, and it almost feels like either she's referencing you or a grandchild, and a connection there. Um, I'm not picking. It's really hard to communicate with her. I don't know who this lady is. I'm sorry. How about if I pull a couple cards for you? Okay. Maybe she's saying that there's still a connection there. You guys are still connected. I feel like she's around you, and um she wants you to know she's there. I'm going to pull you a couple cards. Yeah, mediumship is not my strong suit, to be honest. I talk to my own people. I mean, I talk to celebrities, and it's kind of weird. It's like, did that just happen? Or am I crazy? Okay. I'm really says glimpse, indigo, rainbow, crystal, children, and beyond. So I'm really getting like this it's a tie to children. So I don't know if you have children, because this is the same kind of message that's coming through your mediumship here with your mom. And this says Greenman's Door, Petals to Fairy, Wheel of the Year, Galactic and Gaian entry points. So I don't know, this is kind of weird. Are you pregnant? Because I'm really feeling, because I'm getting that umbilical cord. And that there's a spiritual connection here, deep, deep. Because here's Greenman's Bride, sacred union, commitment ceremony, maturing into deep relationships. So there's something there. I'm not translating the message properly. So if you can make sense out of what I gave you, maybe it's for you to interpret rather than me interpret the message. So, oh, I think that this is a connection to a child. So it may be your child that you already have. And because I feel like this, your mom's connected to this child too. So it's very I can't make it out. I'll just be honest with you. I can't make it out. I think it's for you to figure out. Anybody else there? So I could go ramble on a number of topics here. Amy, you want a reading? There was somebody else here. Candace. Candace came in first. I think I'm going to do a reading for Candace. I like these other cards. Excuse me. So again, just to plug my book again, Master in the Making. It's about self-mastery, not becoming some guru. So Candace. I really like these cards. These are cool. Oh, wow. I always get this really cool story for you. So, find a way to abundance. This is money. Choices. Make the best choices and new beginnings. So, I feel like there's something about a job. um, I kind of feel it might be spiritual in nature. And you need to make the decision to do it or not. So Amy. Oh, Amy has had a shitstorm week, as I read her post. So give her some hope. There's no more shitstorm. Oh, dear Lord. Okay, this is kind of strange. So, I know you're a legend, girl. Sweet baby Jesus. Amen. Okay, legends. Learn from those who inspire you. You're already a legend, girl. I'm sorry about your week. Um, New beginnings. Begin your new life. I think you're just like a phoenix. You just keep like rising up from the ashes. You're like, not this shit again. Okay, so I think you need to like go sit on the couch, animal bond, you know, go hug your dog, um, your pet children. I think you need some more insight. Let's shovel this shit up. You know, I grab my Diet Pepsi and pop some popcorn and get with my dog on the couch and watch TV. I knew there was something around your kids. Came up again. Buggers. And once you have them, they won't go away. Somebody leaving home, Amy. Okay, I keep getting that animal bond again. Something about your animals. So I got children. Know that your children are protected. I almost feel like someone's going off to school, something. Because this is telling you to be self-reliant and don't be afraid to fly solo. So I feel like one of your children's leaving home or the area. And then again, you got the animal bond. So hug your doggy, keep them close. Don't know what's going on there. And protect the animals. So somebody else here that wants a reading can talk about energy. Joanne, hey girl, what's up? Lumberjacks and no shirts, shirtless lumberjacks on your deck. Let's see what's going on with you, girl. I need to come hang out online more, but I'm busy. So last weekend, you're welcome, Amy. I went and hung with some woo-woo golden girls. That was something. And I thought I was weird. They know things. They know things. Lumberjacks. Yeah, Joanne's got this thing with lumberjacks. So we're chopping wood on the back deck. She's got some stuff going on. Could be a cougar. Providing healing for the mind, body, and spirit. So just know that Archangel Raphael is by your side through this time. Who doesn't like a lumberjack, right? Paul Bunyan. Okay. Invite serendipity. I know you're magical, Joanne. New beginnings. So maybe you can get that siren going on that cop car. Now it's a man. It's not the lumberjack anymore. It's some officer. Let's get some more. Let's get some more on this officer. Let's ask about this. handsome, mysterious man in a uniform. Oh, Jesus. Ho, ho, ho. Uh-oh. Joanne, you got us. Don't go away. Don't leave yet. Oh, dear God. Moving forward, get ready for changes. And then this comes up, the 7 deadly sins. I know you, girl. Oh my God. Don't drink too much. And go with the flow. Let things happen, but don't let that alcohol flow too much, okay? Because you got the 7 deadly sins, and God knows what you could do with a cop. A lot of lawlessness going on up in there. Woo! Handcuffs, and don't get me started. Oh, Jesus. Just because I'm spiritual and woo-woo doesn't mean I'm dead. I'm human. I'm going to pull myself some cards. Wait, somebody in here didn't get a reading? Want a reading? Okay. Whistle for a safe word. Oh, man. You could get the village people up in your room. Oh, man. Never mind. A lot of cosplay going on. Oh, fireman, come and put out my fire. So you want to see what my cards are? Let's see one more. Okay. I got to be not afraid to fly solo. I've been solo, bitches. Go with the flow. That's all I can do. And good fortune. Invite magic in. What do I do? I do magic. Whistle. The safe word is. Oh, a safe word. The safe word is 5150. Oh, man. Anybody want a card or reading? Okay. So otherwise, I'm going to start talking about energy. Well, I got a lot of things to talk about. First off, I'm going to share screen. Anyways, you can go to Amazon, buy my book. If you've got a public library that uses Hoopla, you can download the audio book for free. My book's real cheap right now. It's $5.99. So anyways, I'm going to share this other thing I did in the last month here. I had my friend Monique Rebel do. It's done. Oh no, this is my first book I wrote in 2018. I'm still working on this god awful. Actually, this astrology chart is part of this next book I'm working on. So because how this second book, The Theory of Eight, started was an astrology reading. So, and they asked me, well, what happened to you when you were 8? So this has been like a personal investigation about what happened to me when I was 8 years old. And so because I am missing chunks of my memory and I was hypnotized to forget things. There's a, and people that won't own up to what they did to me. I mean, it's really bad. I had her do this progressed chart from up until the time I was about 9 or 10 years old. So in my chart here, it does show there's severe abuse and ongoing abuse, and that I was put to work pretty much. It was already planned before I was even born that how I was going to be treated. And so it's kind of interesting. My friend Monique does artwork too. She doesn't just do these astrological charts. She's a painter. So I'm gonna get her painting up here. And by the way, if you want her to do a chart, I had her do a couple other charts, event chart. I had her look at a partner's chart and do a synastry chart on the two of us. So that was really cool. She took a couple hours with me for the readings and explained what was going on. It was really cool. So anyways, she does this astrology. And then sure. I don't want to invite anybody. She does this artwork here. Now, if you looked at that astrological chart, you'd see it's like sacred geometry. And what I noticed, because she and I have something in common. She went through this. I'm not enlightened like she is. She had this enlightening experience. And so she saw the matrix of creation. And it's this grid system that's around the earth. Well, I've seen the same thing. I had a totally different experience. I didn't go through this enlightenment of like seeing everything that happened in my life and why it happened. That's kind of what I'm doing with my book. So that's, it's being expressed a different way. But I lost I saw the matrix of creation. So if you look at her artwork, it's kind of like this expression of the astrology charts. And I didn't notice it until I found this other guy. It was really cool. I don't know, maybe I'm just a geek. Jan. So this guy, he does this really cool stuff with sacred geometry and numbers and magic numbers. And, this is really super cool. He's on Facebook too. So, it's the matrix kind of looks like this. It more looks like this, but it's more sacred geometry. There's more triangles in there. Super cool. Anyways, that's, I'm a geek. But I just love this stuff, which I'm going to go down this rabbit hole because it's part of my work. So, hi, Judy. I'm going to give you some card readings. I don't know, I'm being drawn to these fairy oracle cards. Everything's fairy with me. Stop sharing tab. So anyways, those are two-dimensional representations of geometric art, or I call it coding. So But my realm of coding has to do with bringing those 2Ds to the 3D. It's pretty cool. Like Jan 108 Academy on Facebook, he's got these cool videos where he they show like a planet and the sun and how it creates sacred geometry. But it's only a 2D representation. So it's kind of cool. So we are expressions of sacred geometry, in other words. And we're connected to that matrix of creation too. So okay, there better not be any pictures on here. Oh. Huh. Okay. This is for Judy. Once was innocent. Okay, that's not really your message here. Knowledge means change. It means that you've come into, you're aware of something now that, and because of that, you have to make a decision to move forward with that decision. I don't know. Fairly lovers, new love, courtship, romance, and falling in love. So, I don't know if you've been made aware of someone that is interested, or you're interested, or there's a mutual interest. So whatever's going on, this is the Grail Fairy, fertility, return of life, health, and life cycles. And what I got from this was that there's something going on there. And, there's potential. And this, whatever this is, it's going to make you feel more alive, more happier, more upbeat. I think you're very reluctant in this, though. So ponder that. Okay, kids. Okay, I gotta go check out these pictures I got sent. Oh, snap. Rawr. Rawr. So glad it was an appropriate picture. Oh, dear word. You're welcome, Judy. Love you. What else? Yeah, I saw the Golden Girls last weekend. That was interesting. Talked about really woo-woo out there stuff. I was like, oh, this is just taking it to the next level. There was a woman actually called Dorothy. So she was much prettier than the Dorothy on the Golden Girls. So anybody want to talk about anything? You guys want to do energy exercises? Because we can do some energy. You guys put your hands together and go like this to feel your own energy. This is how I started. You just slowly move it, move it. You can feel it tingle at your fingertips and on your palms. And then you can make this big ball. You can feel it's almost like a magnetic pull. Your hands might feel cold or hot. You can make a big, big, big ball. You can put a color in it if you want to. I always like to make my energy ball white. You can make it green, full of love. So everything's energy. Even if you can't see it, there's energy there. It's like that negative space, it's all energy. Thoughts are energy. I mean, that's a pretty common thing that's taught about energy nowadays. Thoughts, beliefs. That matrix of creation is all energy. We're all connected to it. That's the collective. That's the I have many names for that. I call it the God source. I call it the eighth dimension. That's where all other dimensions exist. So anybody got questions about that? More energy work? Let's see what we can do. Does everybody know how to ground themselves and protect themselves from other energies? You can do there's all kinds of different ways to ground yourself. I like to imagine that I have roots coming out of my spine and wrap around my legs, thighs, and okay, let's do a grounding exercise. So just take a couple breaths, relaxed breaths. And then we're going to imagine that we have a root coming out of our tailbone, and it's creating roots that are wrapping around our hips, our thighs, our knees, our calves and our shins, around our ankles, around our feet, and go down into the core of the earth. Just keep going down to the core of the earth and wrap around that core of the earth so you're grounded. We're going to take that and we're going to come back up and we're going to go up to our soul star through our crown and wrap those roots around our soul star in the galaxy. So we are fully connected and grounded. And then we are going to, I always like doing the 13 spheres of light. So this is for protection. So we call in Archangel Michael and Gabriel to help us, assist us in creating these 13 spheres. So we're going to do one sphere, our first sphere of white light around us, a second sphere, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, eighth, ninth, 10th, 11th, 12th, and then Michael will grace us with a sphere of blue light for protection. And all through these spheres are filled with layers of protection. So you can take this further. You can bring in gold light, silver light. You can have different intentions for those. You can do cloaking. You can protect yourself from other energies coming in while you're these things are you should really do, like if you want to channel, so that you're not getting interference from an undesirable source. So you can block inversions in or out of your energy. So Um, where do we want to go from here? Here's my first lesson in energy. Because you have to understand how energy works. So, or have this concept, because let's say this is me and this is somebody else, and this person who, this is me, this is somebody else. Um, this person doesn't have good intentions, and they come into my energy field and they impact me. What's going to happen is I'm going to come down to their level sometimes, unless I'm in my integrity and I can repel this person. And, you know, that's, it's a fine balance of doing that. So, and these people do come in to teach us lessons, like, you know, to teach us how to create those boundaries where we don't have these people in our lives. Um, so there's a lot of that going on. Um, what else about energy? Because a lot of my work has to do with past lives. So we we have, our original 0 point source. So, we're a clean slate. And then we go through all these um, lifetime experiences. And with that, we tend to pull, I mean, this is just from my experience in dealing with, writing this book and all the experiences that I've had, doing mediumship. Um, um, so through this process, we bring like different personality traits with us. Like, I was Thomas Paine. So when I'm channeling and I'm channeling something about him and I pick up his personality, I'm like, oh my God, I totally get this guy. And it's very strange because like he's very into, he was philosophical. He was, he wanted freedom. He wanted independence for all. He wanted equality for all. Um, he and he's just a funny dude. And I just get a kick out of it because I'm like, oh my God, I love this guy. He's so it's like, well, maybe I'm falling in love with myself because I'm very much like that. So it's kind of funny, but um how I connected with my past lives was through meditation. So I had kind of like what I just went through with you. Um, had a teacher that would do this meditation. And I've had a couple healers do this with me to um, go through this process, this step by step process in which all is that right? I like that dude. I did some research. I don't know how he's that guy's cool. Patrick Henry. Th- that's another thing. So there's we tend to travel in soul families because we've created contracts. And so in writing my book, I had, you know, because I was such epic characters in the past, there's history out there. And so I was looking for my soul family, who's in this lifetime with me, that was in that lifetime with me, or the other lifetime with me. So, you know, as when I was Thomas Paine, um, my dad in this lifetime was John Hancock. My grandfather on my mom's side was Benjamin Franklin. Um, A former friend of mine was Napoleon. Who else is there? Oh, my great grandmother was definitely in there because she's the one I picked up in one of those meditations. So, and she was doing very nefarious things with the founding fathers and how this country was formed. And she was doing black magic there. So that's something to think about. So then I have this other lifetime. I was this epic character with this character named Gilgamesh, King Gilgamesh in Babylon. And I was his best friend Enkidu. And so, I never got confirmation on this, but when I read this story, I'm like, okay, this character Humbaba that's on in the cedar forest was a representation of my great grandparents and my grandmother. Bad stuff going on in this family. This book's all about family secrets and world secrets that are going to come to light. So, the story, how it's written, the Epic of Gilgamesh, is not true. Um, Not exactly true to how it's written because um, those events happened like in 3000 BC, and by the time that they got written down in the records that we have, they're like 1500 and 1600 BC. So that story has been retold by word of mouth for 1500 years before it got written down. So the exact events are not there, but some of the story is. So Ishtar is my mother in this lifetime, and she's not very nice, and it's disturbing. But let me talk about Babylon. Babylon, there was a lot of magic. There was dark magic. There was light magic going on there, but it was more dark than anything. So we got the Tower of Babylon. This is how some of the stories got changed. So the Tower of Babylon was created so nobody could. There's total confusion. Nobody could communicate properly. So you get this one thing that happened, and from that one thing that happened, we get multiple stories told. The the exact truth wasn't written down in these stories. Um, Names got changed, so we've got the same story. It's in the Bible. It's in the Epic of Gilgamesh. It's in Greek mythology. It's in the stories of Ishtar, and it's the same root story. It's none of it's not one story is the true event. So it's been really interesting to go through and read this and go, this doesn't feel right. Because being psychic, that's what I'm picking up psychic hits off of reading this and doing research on it at the same time where I'm getting psychic hits, and I'm going back and I'm using psychics or other sources to get confirmation. I'll get a couple confirmations, and it's like, yeah, I know. So it's been real interesting. So the book's going to be really interesting. There's like so much in this book. Um, it's kind of like there's so much information in it, and then it gets connected to my family and my 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 here and now, this present lifetime is connected to those lifetimes because we all made this soul agreement with one another that we're going to carry out the story. And so that story ends in this lifetime. It was in my lifetime in Babylon. I made a vow to humanity that because I was killed because I was going to tell the truth about what was going on there. So they found some reason to get rid of me, burn me at the stake. But beforehand, I made a vow to humanity that I'm going to come back and tell the truth of what really happened. And so I've been trying to do that. I was trying to do that as Thomas Paine. And, you know, it's kind of the same theme, equality, freedom. So, but in doing that, I have to find messaging and how it relates to all of you, and getting your help spreading this word, because part of that is your own divinity, finding your own divinity, being connected to source, that God source, whatever you want to call it, the collective, um, however you identify it, the universe. And we're all connected together to make one whole. Um, there's a lot of nasty stuff out there, guys. Anybody got any questions? I'm just rambling. So then after this, I get to go write some code, because something happened to the matrix, the matrix of creation. Apparently, I was working on this back in Babylon, and I was feeding some bad people bogus code so I could protect y'all, so, or your very distant ancestors. So it's going to get interesting. It involves rock stars. Yeah. What else? Rituals, satanic stuff, child abuse, you name it. I got everything in my book. I just want to be finished. So you guys will, when you read my book, The Theory of Eight, that's not done yet, as I took my healing sessions, it has the dialogue in there. Healer me, we back and forth questions, answers, question, answers. So this gives people a lot of insight into my spiritual gift, development, how the story, came about, how, this whole investigation is an account of what I was doing. This is me healing, but my healing is also a mirror to humanity, and what's hidden in humanity is also hidden in me. Ooh, Tracy, we need to talk. Huh. Huh. Now, it's, when you have that kind of connection, I have more of a connection. I always felt a connection to like the Celtic people. I never had a connection to Babylon. I was never interested. And it was like Epic of Gilgamesh. I was getting these psychic hits. I'm like, who is this guy? And then I started reading. I'm like, oh my God, this is my ex-boyfriend. And I history's not my thing, and I was never really interested in this. But the main theme going through it, yeah, equality, freedom for all, definitely has been like, something, because I mean, I came into this life with a contract to go through all these horrific. Ooh, I love the Amish people. I want to go hang out with the Amish. I want to do an Amish weekend. I think it'd be so cool. Um, and Native Americans, I do too. I love Native Americans. I don't know. I lost my train of thought, but this is so cool. Um, oh yeah. So I'm gonna finish my job this lifetime. and then I'll get to go home wherever that's at. So, I want to start talking about coding and how we can decode our lives. So, and um, this takes a lot of awareness on somebody's part, and to be mindful of doing this. But I think this is an important step in um, being connected to the divine, your own divinity, and what I mean by coding in, I would call this coding in daily life, is to look for anything that resonates with you, or what's going, this is more mindfulness stuff, but you can also feel this in your body. And because I'm a medical intuitive, I have this background in teaching myself the correlation between what's going on, but emotions and illnesses. And so when you have an understanding of that, and an understanding of your own body and how things are expressed, you can pick up on those emotions and try to find out where those are coming from, because when it's in the body, it's mostly subconscious that's coming through in the body to be expressed, so that you're aware of that, and to find those correlations of what's going on in your life. Well, I'm exhausted. Well, what's going on in my life? Am I resisting something? You know, how's my body feeling? Is it my heart? Is, my back? You know, Finding those correlations, and this is all about to know thyself. So, but it goes beyond that. Uh, there's this thing like, oh, just leave the past in the past. You don't need, well, then, if you go into therapy, they're going to look at your past and they're going to go, well, what happened in your childhood? Well, you got this, this, this. And if you haven't healed those things, they're going to be expressed in your body as illness or disease, or you'll be on medication for something. Um, so it's really important to look at the past and what happened in the past so you can heal it. Everybody says, stay in the present moment. Yeah, you can do that, and I recommend doing that through learning this other process of daily coding in your life, because you're going to start observing how things work and how they're connected to your past. Because if you understand your present and your past, you have the ability to change your future. So I don't know if anybody has questions on that. I was going to do this in a private group with some gals, but I think it's more appropriate for me to do this online live. So it's there, it's out there. People want to go look at it. They want to, rewatch it, ask me questions, send me a message and ask me questions. I'd be happy to answer them on the next live I do. I'm going to wrap this up, but Tracy, would you like a reading? I have cards here. I just felt like I rambled on and got caught up in the matrix. Okay. Let's do these. No, I like these better. This is interesting. I keep pulling this card for everybody. It kind of happens like that. Very interesting. So I'm kind of getting this is, I don't know if you work, there's something going on with your work. So this says, don't be afraid to fly solo. It's for Tracy. Owl, follow your intuition. I think you are solid, but there's some things holding you back. And this says, moving forward, getting ready for positive change. So, Tracy, I wish you luck in that. I'm going to pull a couple cards for the group, and then I'm going to call it a night. So I got to get this damn book done, guys. That's why I've been MIA for weeks. So, you know what? We are self-reliant. We don't need that card again tonight. See? Yes. I had that feeling like you're yeah. Yeah. It's a good positive change, Tracy. I wish you luck with this. Okay, guys. We're going to celebrate, and we're going to invite serendipity into our lives. So, and we're all going to be self-reliant. We're not going to be afraid to fly solo. So that each and every one of you can connect with your own divinity. And I might do some meditate. Maybe I'll do some a meditation next time I'm on, where we can tap into a past life, or we can make some attempts to. And maybe people can share, like, if they picked anything up. So watch for me to post when I will, not with a guest, but by myself doing readings or whatever. So and remind me, we'll do a meditation to see if we can bring up a past life. So thank you, ladies and gentlemen, and viewers and listeners later on, for tuning in. Appreciate it. Good night. Oh, that's something I didn't talk about. We can have multiple lifetimes going on simultaneously, because we have this. Good night. Go do that research if you're called to do it. Good night, everyone. It's woo woo for you, boo hoo.